Recorded, edited, and polished just for you. Welcome to Let's Hang Out. What is up, everybody? I am back for another episode. If you guys listened to the last episode, you understand that it's really not much of a time jump for me. It's not the normal recording time because I'm just doing another one right after this and building up the bank. So, awkward start. If you guys know that I just finished one and I come back and I'm like, hey, what's going on? You know. Behind the scenes stuff. Now you know. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Welcome. Let's hang out. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about things. I'm excited to talk about today's topic, though. This episode's topic. I shouldn't say today, because you guys know it's not the day of. But let's talk about some stuff. Hobbies, music, projects. That's a lot of things to talk about, right? Right? No? Let me get into it. We'll see where it goes. You guys feel free to join in. I am, at my core, a hobby enthusiast. I love to have projects going. I love to have a ton of projects active. The pros and cons to that are pretty straightforward. The good side is that I have a lot of things I can do. The bad side is I have a lot of things left unfinished. And that unfortunately carries into home projects and repairs and things like that I wish I would finish and get on top of, and I'm going to. I am absolutely going to. But do you guys have hobbies that you like doing, and maybe you have 2 or 3 different things you like doing, whether it's hobbies, projects, crafts, whatever? Do you guys have that stuff, and do you guys actually finish all of it? I can't be the only one who starts, 6 projects and gets through 3 of them, and the other 3 sit there half done until another date where I finish them and have another 3 that I've started. And there's just this continual stack on stack on stack of things to do. So those of you guys that have followed me on my other projects, my other channels and media, you guys know that I am a fundraiser, or I raise funds, or however you want to word that. It's always weird saying I'm a fundraiser. I'm raising funds, doing a fundraiser. I support Extra Life and Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I've been doing it for 7 years now, and I'm working towards really just making it a regular thing without having to talk about it so much. I know that takes away from the purpose of talking about it so much, but I want to get to the point where people just know me as that guy. You guys also know me from my projects with streaming of various games, both video game, tabletop, card game, etc. You guys might also know me from my Gundam building, Gunpla, as it's also referred to, and building those, again, streaming, fundraising at the same time. Working on some of those projects. I have a special one that I'm working on that I haven't put too much information out about just yet, that I just really kind of finalized the details on, and I'm excited to share with my entire fundraising family and my friends and everyone. But I really want to wait until that one's done. I don't want to overhype that until it's there and it's not in person, but it's tangible. You guys get to see it done. You get to hear the project, how I went through and did it. You guys might also know me from my woodworking stuff that I've shared, that I started sharing around the holiday time. I had started carving wands, magic wands, big quotes on magic, wands for people. I had a Harry Potter party, and one of our things was we all came dressed up as students of Hogwarts. Nobody came with a wand, and I kind of expected that. So I carved 10 wands, and we had a mystery drawing. It was the whole Ollivander, the wand chooses the wizard kind of thing. And we had them in a little container, and everybody got to pick one, and they were each different. They were completely unique designs to each other. So it's a lot of things that I do. There's a lot of projects I'm involved in, and that's just my hobby side of things. But I'm excited for so many of those. I'm excited for my Gundam building and what I'm sharing, because I have some really fun projects I have set aside, and I'm trying to incorporate them more and be better about sharing that information with everybody. I'm very much into my woodworking. It goes back to something I loved doing back in high school, and that was being in a wood shop and being creative and just hands-on work. Back in high school, I was involved in a lot of things. I had woodshop, metals, industrial engineering, electronics. I kind of covered everything, so I would have skills to share across the board. And woodworking was just one of those things that I really fell in love with. I loved being able to take something so plain as a piece of wood, this rectangular piece of nothing, and put a bunch of those together and make something cool. Or in the case of the wands, taking a piece of wood and carving it down, shaping it down into something that was truly unique and that somebody could hold, feel pride that they had something made just for them, and enjoy it, and just look at the craftsmanship of it. You know, it's one of those things that I fell back in love with doing this project for Halloween, that I recently bought and had shipped to me a box of exotic woods that I can turn into extra wands that I can hopefully use for fundraising. Again, all of my projects kind of tying together. And I'm really looking forward to doing it, but I've got to get my workspace under control. I have a garage that I do everything in. And right now it is a mess. Huge mess. There's so many things I need to organize out there. It's just, with it being so freaking cold this winter, and it came out of nowhere because I was still able to work for a while at the early part of things. Obviously, I was out there carving, but then the actual cold snap hit, and it has been unbearably cold in that garage. So I need to get out there and fix a lot of things and get a workspace under control. Make it spider-proof, because I do not want to deal with the spiders that are out there. So I need to get that under control. But I like having things to do. I like being hands-on. And I'm learning that there's actually more people that do very unique crafts and hobbies who really don't talk about it. Or I'm learning that some of my friends from school, back in the high school times that I still chat with or follow through socials and stuff, I'm learning that a lot of them had some really hidden talents that they didn't share until recently. I have one friend who, she's into, I don't want to say rug making, but the whole, like, carpet, rug, I don't even know how to describe it. I've seen it become more and more of a popular trend on TikTok and Facebook videos and stuff like that, of people creating these huge rug tapestry looking things. And she does it, and she is really good at it. Like, I'm impressed every time that she shows progress on it. And even though I haven't talked to her or her husband in years directly, it's just like it fills me with joy to see them doing something like that, and to see somebody else really enjoying their hobby. I've got another friend of mine who does t-shirt printing and t-shirt designs, and she does all kinds of things, all different ways of doing it. And she doesn't, thank goodness, doesn't do the whole vinyl t-shirt thing, because that I can't stand that. But she does all these different shirt designs, and she comes up with some of the most adorable shirts for her son, and these awesome distressed looks, and it's great. And I love it because it inspires me to keep doing what I love. And even though I'm not doing rugs and clothing and stuff like that, like, my projects to me resonate with my entire core goal in life, which is to help others and to just do it in a way that makes them feel good. I like making people laugh, I like making people smile, and I like being hands-on with stuff. So seeing them and seeing the reactions they're getting for their work kind of gives me hope that maybe I can do my stuff and some people will see the same joy in it, and hopefully support the same way, you know? But then talking about support and projects that people are doing, that also kind of swings us over towards the music topic. And I have somebody who I worked with and trained back at my first retail job. And back then he was still kind of working the lower end of things with music, doing the rap game, and he's always been really talented. He gave me he and his former partner gave me one of their albums to listen to, and he's really good. And I've always been really impressed with his style. Over the last few years, he has taken off all over the place. And I'm not super close with him, but I just feel this immense pride every time I see him post something. Just the progress he's made, because he's followed his dream and he's put in the work. and is really getting out there. But again, that leads to music. For him, it was a passion project, and it continues to be, and it continues to be his job. And that's how he's going about life, is making music. And it's this weird language that we all speak, where music speaks to us. Music tells people about us. Now, I want to clarify that statement. Music tells people about us. It doesn't necessarily mean that if you listen to country music, you're a country boy, country girl. Or if you listen to classical, that you are a proper just you're not. That's not what I mean. I mean that music speaks to us and shows people who we are in a way that is universal. It is a language we all listen to, understand, and share. And it's been the most amazing thing recently, which is why I want to talk about it with my kids. And we all have our own music styles we like. I've always been a rock guy. Rock, metal, core, grunge, punk, all of that. But what a lot of people don't associate with me is that I also enjoy country music. I like some pop music. I love classical, and I mean classical. There's really not much that I don't like. Rap, again, you would instantly associate, and a lot of my friends back in high school did, that even though I was a rock guy, that I just absolutely did not like rap. I like some rap. I like old school rap. West Coast 90s rap, for those that really want to get super specific on music and where. And just saying that is going to trigger some people. I get it. You guys, I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to cause an argument. I'm just saying what I like. And I'm not knocking what you guys like. But it's been this amazing thing to sit here and watch my friends, and especially the ones who didn't share much, and see the music they share, see the music they create. Just kind of experience a whole new perspective on who people are. And my kids are a huge example, a great example as what music does. My kids have had Spotify for a while now, and they've taken after me in a way with what they listen to, but they are still very much on their own terms what they want to listen to. And they find their bands, they find stuff they like, and it has been the coolest thing to sit here and watch this new generation coming up and listening to some of the stuff we had when we were kids. You know, listening to Linkin Park, and that's just the great starting point right there. You know, my kids listened to Linkin Park for the first time and they fell in love with it. It's something that the lyrics clicked with them, the music clicked with them, and it's been one of those bands that they just hear it and they get excited to listen to it. And they're still listening to new stuff. There's still newer bands they're listening to. My daughter is absolutely in love with Eminence, and it's amazing. It's amazing how music affects everybody, and then really looking from the outside in, you know, seeing myself listening to what I listened to as a kid, being listened to by my kids, and seeing how they reacted to it. It's a surreal thing, and it amazes me to see how it helps them. My son gets motivated and works with his headphones on for so many projects, and he's listening to hardcore screamo, metal, just a little bit of everything, but he's working. And it's funny to me because I remember so many people talking about how, oh, you can't get comfortable listening to rock and metal. And I'm like, this kid is sitting here as calm as could be with vocals that are screaming. And I mean stuff harder than I listen to sometimes. And he's just doing his thing. You know, my daughter is somewhat the same way, but her spectrum of music is so much broader than my son's. She'll go from listening to hardcore to K-pop and to house, techno, dubstep, metalcore. The chain. There's no consistency to any of it, and I love it. But I love that they're also learning to identify tracks and learning to identify what type of music the other is listening to or what I'm listening to. it was cool to see, because I was one of those kids that, even though I didn't listen to all the pop, rap, country, all of that stuff that was on mainstream radio, I still knew the tracks. And it would blow people away that I could listen to what I was listening to, which most of them had no idea who half the bands were. But I would still be able to identify almost every track within a few seconds of it starting. My kids have gotten to that stage, and it is the most insane thing to listen to. Because I'll play a track. The other day I popped something on my Spotify just to mess around with them and see if they'd heard it. And I kid you not, the track played for 3 notes, maybe 3 notes max. And my daughter called out the track and the band immediately. It was wild. And I'm just looking at her like, is that how I used to be? Was that me? Did I just see little me again? And it's so cool. And it's interesting too, with where we live and the culture that in our town that we have here, that my son can still find some people that enjoy it. Not many so far, but some that enjoy the same music. But then to hear how some of them react just blows my mind, because they don't understand. The culture out here is very, very Hispanic, so it's a lot of Spanish music, and Spanish music has its own beast, its own thing. If you don't understand that statement, just turn on Spanish radio. You can find it. If you have an old radio, you can circle through the FM channels and find it. If not, I dare you to step into Spotify and look up a Spanish playlist and just listen to it, and you'll understand. But the culture out here is so much of that when it's something outside of that sound, they get really confused. And my kids they're so much like me, they just kind of like, whatever, you don't like it, it's okay. And they do their thing. But it's so weird, because I actually enjoyed some of the Spanish music, the Mexican music that I listened to when I was younger, and I can still identify some of the tracks when they're played around here. Stereotypes aside, there is always going to be that bump, 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 that sound in Spanish music. I'm talking lyrically, I can still pick out tracks that I remember. But listening to them talk about music and how much they enjoy this artist and that artist, and they get excited now for albums coming out, and then trying to introduce them to things like the guy I worked with. They don't listen to rap. My kids don't normally listen to rap, and they gave it a listen and they loved it. They thought it was great. They were more blown away that I knew the guy. You know, I've got all these things that I wish people would take a chance and listen to. And the music thing is beyond just listening to it, you know? My kids each have instruments that they play, and they play it at their own pace. They're learning at their own pace. My son has a guitar. Hasn't picked it up in a while, but he has a guitar that he played. And my daughter, we got her a keyboard because she wanted a keyboard. And it's, again, another one of those musical moments that just kind of blows my mind. I play guitar, or at least I've taught myself how to play a little bit. It's been a while since I've actually sat down and tried to teach myself how to play in a while, and it's just, I haven't in a while. But I've always had this weird skill where I can play a track or play a song by ear. I can't read music. I can in the sense that I can look at it and I can tell you what the notes are, but translating the note from the page to my instrument doesn't register with me because I don't know that stuff. But I can listen to a track and I can play it. I can play it on an instrument that's in front of me. If you give me a guitar and a track that has guitar work to it, I can work my way through each of the pieces. It may not be the correct way that it was played, but I get to the notes and I can still get to the sound in a very similar fashion. And again, my daughter is huge with Eminence. She loves this band. And one of the coolest things about them is that they're a metalcore band. And I might even just call them, you might just call it core. I think that's the new subgenre is core. But they have, the lead singer plays a violin and it's fantastic. And then there's multiple tracks where they have classic piano and stuff playing in the background. And she wanted to learn one of those tracks. So she's been working on it for a few days trying to figure it out. And she's gotten real close. And I went back into her room yesterday and she was asking if I could do it and if I could find the note. So I played the track again, just so it was fresh, and I worked through it in about a minute. I had the notes figured out and the rhythm figured out, and I had showed her, and she spent the next hour playing that same sequence over and over again to memorize it, and to just be able to play it without looking. And it just amazes me that this is a kid who hasn't learned how to play an instrument, wasn't formally taught how to play, and is learning how to play these tracks and these different sequences by ear like I did. It is the coolest thing to watch. And it energizes me in a way that I love sharing the story about it. I love sharing music. I love talking about music in general. But being able to say that, I've got a kiddo who can hear a track and play a track and works her way through it, it's just super cool. So I know I kind of went off on a tangent in there towards the end. I apologize about that. But what do you guys listen to? What's your music style? Do you play? Is it something you've done for a while? What do you like to listen to? Like, do you listen to something different than you play? Which would be totally unique in itself. Haven't found anybody who does that, but are you? Are you somebody who plays an instrument one way but listens to something else? And then just to wrap things up and bring kind of an end to an end here, projects and such. Hobbies, music, and projects, right? Got a few projects going on. I've shared a little bit with you guys already at the beginning here. I've got a few things coming up that hopefully I get to share with you guys either on these podcasts or through socials if you guys are following. I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on. We're going to keep the episodes rolling here. Like I mentioned in the previous one, I'm just going to start stockpiling a few of these, so you guys might notice that the sound in the background, if I haven't edited properly, any of those background things, or even just the way my voice sounds today versus another recording, may be very similar, so you guys might be able to piece out when I recorded these. Which is cool. If you do, great. But I'm going to keep going on my promise to keep you guys loaded with episodes and hanging out and having fun. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your stories about the topics that I'm talking about in these episodes, or even things you guys want to talk about on socials. So please, let's talk. Let's hang out. Get a hold of me on Twitter at Let's Hang Out Pod. Hit up topics with hashtag Let's Hang Out Pod. I'll throw some out there, and we'll see what we can get going. I've got a few things really cool lined up here that I'm working on, some other projects that I'm working on that are all going to tie into these podcasts. And I'm hoping that I can get you guys, get the gears turning here to feed us with some crazy ideas where we can go. But I thank you guys again for listening. As always, huge thank you. Keeping it 20 to 30 minutes on these episodes. You guys have stuff to do. I'm just here for a little while. But I appreciate you. So you guys take it easy. Have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week, whenever you're listening to me. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. See ya!